Vikings, men of the inlet. Their culture was that of blood and war. They were legendary boat builders. In fact, at that time, they were the best in the world. Warcraft carriers used to sail to and invade other neighboring countries of Norway. They were notorious raiders, the Norse. Not only did they have the toughest warriors, they had the toughest gods. Odin, Loki, Thor, and then we have the Norse god Hel, the appointed ruler of Hell. And here's where things get creepy. She gave birth to a son, also condemned to the underworld, who once a year would leave the underworld to seek out and punish bad children. Krampus, the Santa from Hell. The name Krampus is from the German word Krampen, meaning claw. In his Germanic paganistic roots, he has nothing to do with Christmas. However, Krampus is known to be the antithesis of old St. Nick. Now, we all know that people can't wait to celebrate Christmas on Christmas. And as the story goes, centuries ago, it was tradition to begin Christmas celebrations in Germany early. And on the night of December 5th, Krampus would be making his rounds. German children would leave their boots outside their doors on this night, either awaking to sweets and presents in their boots, or a rod, courtesy of Krampus. Now that sucks. Krampus is the Mr. Potato Head of monsters. This thing is part man, part horrible goat beast, with black fur, the tongue of Gene Simmons, 2 long horns, and a beard. He runs around stalking children with 1 cloven hoof, 1 human foot, and chains with bells. Now, of course, this thing has claws and sharp teeth, but it goes around beating kids with a bundle of birch sticks. If you were mildly bad, then you might get some coal in your boots. But if you were super bad, how about getting physically assaulted, kidnapped, thrown into this big backpack cooler full of other kids on this thing's back, taken to his lair, where you are then assaulted again, and then eaten. And according to European folklore, Krampus was known as the companion of St. Nicholas, working together to scare the living crap out of young children, then reward them with gifts later on. Now, for centuries, many alpine town sets have been celebrating this demon on Krampusnacht, or Krampus night. This is known as Krampuslauf, or the running of the Krampuses. This is where the townsfolk dress up like Krampus and gather in a parade, posing to scare and prey on children. Now, this practice has been banned before in several countries, only to make another comeback later on. And today, it's trendy. In fact, in California, they have their annual Krampus Fest. You would think with centuries of celebrating this demon, there would be a summoning or real Krampus sighting or two. Well, oddly enough, there has been several sightings of Krampus throughout Europe, and now the US, as what people describe as a goat man, terrorizing people in states like Texas, California, Kentucky, Maryland, Alabama, Louisiana. People reporting this claim that this horny goat man has already murdered young couples, broke into people's houses, it has murdered pets, and raped both men and women. I kid you not. People are reporting these occurrences. As many of you may already know, a lot of myths and legends are exaggerated and embellished stories based on something that once was, or maybe to this day, real. Does it make sense that the story of Krampus was likely told before it was written, as just a story passed along by word of mouth, contorted by the fears of many who believed in the Norse gods and that world's theory of creation? Did you know that there are a few pedophiles that believe that they can conjure up and harness enough negative energy to bring in the energy of evil spirits by harming children in the most horrible ways imaginable? They believe it to be the most evil of all sins, so therefore, it's like a direct strike against God and total submission to the evil spirit, giving them power. So this is what madmen do. They create monsters, sometimes out of people. Then they become legends like Krampus. And the people, no matter if it's real or just a story, instead of destroying or getting rid of the very thing that terrorizes them, they'll find a way to worship and celebrate it.